Welcome to Module 12, where we're going to be covering the planet Neptune. Neptune is probably the most elusive planet, and it's very difficult finding the words to adequately describe the process of Neptune. So when I'm talking about the process of Neptune, I'm talking about the placement you have of Neptune on your chart. Everybody has a Neptune, and some people are going to be more heavily influenced depending upon the complex. So what a complex is basically the alignments between Neptune or whatever the planet is and the other planets on your chart. So a Neptune complex could be signified by if you have Neptune conjunct the sun at the time of your birth, if you have Neptune at a 90-degree angle to Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, if you have Neptune in opposition to any of those personal planets, or if you have Neptune in the first house near the ascendant, these things could be called a Neptune complex. So anytime that Neptune on your natal chart is being activated by a planet, or if Neptune in the sky is transiting a personal part of your chart, this could also be called a Neptune initiation. We all have one Neptune initiation for sure between the ages it's between 40 and 42, but we could start to feel it late 39 and into 42. So the way that the initiations work is that you'll have an exact hit. So the exact hit will be the first date, and I'm going to use a date, April 20th, 2020. There's one hit. This is the initiation into your Neptune cycle. The initiation, I relate to these as the whole cycle as the initiation, but the onset of it is initiating your initiation. It's the beginning of the full cycle. The Neptune initiation between 40 and 42 is meant to confuse you. And yes, I do mean that. It's meant to disturb your ideas of your ego identity. It's meant to create like chaos and confusion about who you think you are and what you believe about things in your reality. And this helps us to dissolve the illusions that we have about ourselves, even if you like them, even the ones that you think are really accurate. The I am statement. I am a healer. I am a mother. I am I am a horrible person, or whatever it is that you have put after your I am. I am a good person. Even that. Anything that you put after I am during a Neptune initiation is meant to be dissolved. So with this dissolution of ego identity and associations that we've made, we are empty. The cup of your physical body, your being, the entity that you are, has been emptied, or during the process of initiation is being emptied, so that after the process, you can begin creating. So this is a recreational time, a recreating of ourselves. So at the end of the initiation process, you're able to recreate, revision yourself, and your whole life can be recreated during this Neptune initiation. So I want to give an example about the dates and the way this thing works. This is about Neptune, but this goes for all of the planetary initiations. So my Neptune initiation started around the late January, early February is whenever it got within a degree. So if my natal Neptune is at 20 degrees Sagittarius, Neptune in the sky reaches 20 degrees Pisces. This creates a 90-degree angle. But in late January, early February, actually, it was February 10th. Neptune gets a degree, it's close, it's getting close. And this was an onset of coronavirus, where I was sick for a whole month. Neptune is also involved in viruses. Neptune dissolves boundaries. So it deals with immunity. So with those boundaries dissolved, we're susceptible to the way things permeate to us. So Neptune is associated with viruses for that reason. When Neptune hit exact April 20th, that was an initiation day, and many things happened, and it was related to a certain topic that themed this entire process. So then there's a middle hit, and that middle hit is kind of like a checkup point that says, okay, so how are you doing with this? Do you think you know who you are? Where do we need to dissolve more of your boundaries? What else can be made fuzzy and unclear for you? And this is about illusions. So the whole process, things that come into your life during a Neptune process also are related to the mystical, magical experience of illusions. Just like art, great art. You look at art and you get a feeling, and it takes you into a new, because of that mystical experience, you're elevated, you've expanded your boundaries of what is Saturnine real. So Saturn's reality dissolves and expands. Okay, so then the last hit of Neptune, for me, this Neptune initiation happened on the 12th of March, and there was a huge dissolution happening in my relationship, and it felt this way to me anyway. And I don't know what's real. I really don't know. So without getting in too much into that personal topic for me, I do want to mention that Neptune was at that 20-degree angle. Neptune was in Pisces at 20, making that 90-degree angle exact for me up until the 21st of March. And right around the 21st of March, it was the first day I hadn't cried. The day before that, I did cry. And I only cried once. So I was like, wow, I only cried once today. Things are getting better. Or I'm starting to, like, this veil of Neptunian influence I felt was starting to lift. And on the 21st, which was yesterday, I didn't cry at all. And it was such an amazing thing. It was like, wow, I felt the bubbles of it, but it wasn't able to, overwhelm me and take over. I don't even think my eyes got watery. And I get a little choked up. I'll start to feel that choking up, but then it doesn't happen. The downpour doesn't happen. So, which is great, because for the last 2 months, I have been consistently crying multiple times a day. And I'm like, how much longer can this go on? So on the 21st, that was the day Neptune moved to 21 degrees Pisces. And I didn't know this. I hadn't looked that up until just now, actually, before I started this video, because I've been in my process. You know, I knew the three main dates. So whatever initiation process you're in with the planets, always look up the date so you know the timeline, but don't be attached to looking at every single little movement in between. It can take away from the experience of the process that's happening. So let's talk more about the Neptune initiation, and then we'll go into more of just the uh, details, some details about what is Neptune as a planetary force. What is it that we're meant to uncover with this planetary force? And how can you work with it? What is the best methods? I mean, it's not like I experientially know the best methods yet, because at the end of a cycle, any of these planetary initiation cycles, you still have a good year at least of recovery, of integration. So it's a healing process. When the cycle is over, you still have about a year of integration and healing. So let's talk about this phase of life. This is called midlife crisis. I call it midlife passage. This is the beginning of a process of midlife, which happens between the ages of 40 and 52, even I would say 56, because at 56 we have our second Saturn return, and that's kind of the end of midlife crisis. I would say that makes us, it's a solid stamp on this process of midlife passage. So the onset at 40 with the Neptune initiation dissolves your illusion of who you think you were. For me, this started with getting sick and having to lay in bed for a whole month, and I cried every day, every night. It was like a real dissolving of my ego, a humbling of my, as I'm a fit person who I work out every day, I lift, I run, I practice yoga and belly dance. I love to sing and chant mantras. I love reading and studying things. I take care of my kids. I love to make food for them and take them places and give them gifts. Well, during this initiation of Neptune, I could not do anything. I had to ask for help. I had to ask people to bring me water, to bring me food. I couldn't even stand up. I was dizzy. I was hard to breathe. And still to this day, I feel like I have a cloud in my lungs. I think it was right around the day that the partner that I had been with during that initiation, I met him. I met him right at the onset of Neptune, and he left right at the ending of that process. So right when Neptune was still at 20 degrees Pisces at a perfect 90-degree angle, he left. He's driving across the country right now, and I'm not sure that I'm ever going to see him again. And came in such a magical, instant way, and it was an instant feeling of the magical beloved that I had been praying for. And so he was with me during that whole process of illusion and dissolution of who I thought I was and who I've been. And so it was a very chaotic, not in a bad way. It was wonderful. It was the best relationship I've ever experienced in the sense of companionship and being able to permeate each other in such a deep way. But it's just so interesting how he left at the end. He came at the beginning, he left at the end, and it wasn't by any plans of a number thing. So the process is meant to take you into the illusion with getting attached to the particulars of the illusion. So if you're looking at a good piece of art, you're not necessarily going to drop $10,000 to buy it. I did drop $10,000 to go to, I drove there and got him and brought him back here. So I did drop $10,000 to buy the art. I bought the illusion. And I'm not saying this in a way of any type of regret. I am very happy that I did those things. I'm very happy of the choices that I made. And one of the teachings from one of the schools that I've studied at, and I knew this going in to the relationship at the onset of my Neptune initiation, the school says to not act on. So they would say, do not buy that piece of art. This is not the time. This is meant to dissolve your boundaries and to take you out of the vision that you have for yourself. Not to say that this art isn't for you. The art could be for you. The art comes into your life at this time to do the work of Neptune, but you don't necessarily need to buy the art. That it would, at the end of the cycle, it says it right here in in the handbook from the school that I studied at, one of the schools I studied. I don't really recommend this school because it's great. The school is great. But there's a lot of things that are, that I just don't recommend the school overall. So anyway, in the handbook, it says that at the end of the cycle, the thing will leave. So the way they describe it is as a cup. So your cup is emptied during the Neptune initiation so that you can be filled with a new vision for your life. And this is through, okay, say if this piece of art comes into your life, it's easy to get attached to the piece of art as what has been gifted as part of you recreating your life. We can get attached to the art. And so the cup is meant to remain empty during the Neptune initiation so that we can experience all these different ways that the cup could be filled and to experience all these different things. But at the end of the Neptune initiation, the cup will be emptied again. So whatever you fill it with will leave and dissolve also. So it's just so interesting that the person actually left, and what I am left with is the beauty of what that experience brought to my life, and to really work, because Neptune is a transpersonal planet. It's a planetary force of a transpersonal energy. So it doesn't mean that it discounts the person or the art or whatever it is that comes into your life during the Neptune initiation. It's just that you are meant to, so there's this inclusiveness. So you include the person, include the art, and transcend, go beyond. So what the beauty of the whatever it is that comes into your life during the Neptune cycle, and sometimes it's not beautiful. Sometimes it is death and dissolution of people and art that you've created previously. Okay, so in order to say yes to this person that, or the art that you bring into your life during the Neptune initiation, you say no to many, many other things, many other people, many other art forms, especially if it's a romantic relationship. So the Neptune process is not meant to, oh, wow. So I'm feeling that, because there were other art forms that were wanting to be a part of my reality during cycle. And I said no to them because I had said yes to this one. So when this one decided that it was right for him to leave, it felt like shattering my whole life. It felt like it was shattering because it shattered that whole illusion that I had accepted as reality. let's talk about reality for a minute, because there's a Saturn reality, which is what we have all. When somebody says they're being realistic or they talk about reality, they're talking about Saturn's solidity, the reality of structure and form. Neptune has a different reality. Actually, one of the teachings that I received on Neptune said that Neptune paves the way for Saturn's reality. Neptune paves the way for structure and form to take place. So, if that, Neptune's reality is mystical. It's the reality of what's happening on your subconscious or below consciousness, or the collective consciousness which you are able to perceive from your one point, that one point of awareness that you are. It's so amazing. It's so amazingly challenging to talk about Neptune. Neptune is the realm of dreams. It's the realm of collective consciousness. Collective consciousness, as perceived by your one point of awareness, is often considered to be your subconscious or below conscious. One of my friends that I used to talk to a lot and share a lot of Neptunian experiences and conversations with said that subconscious is the not yet conscious. I love that because it's below your awareness, but it is in you. It is part of you and you have access to it. You just haven't, it hasn't bubbled up to the surface of your perception just yet. This is Neptune. Neptune imagery is revealed to us in our dreams. Our dreams pave the way for Saturn's solid structure and form. So, Neptune initiation is meant to dissolve all of your old dreams, to make a space for you to recreate a new dream and a new vision for yourself, hopefully in relation with the cosmic dream. What was Creator dreaming when you were manifested into form? Creator's dream being that pathway for Saturn to create structure and form. What was that? What did that look and feel like when Creator was dreaming that pathway of you? And during the Neptune initiation, that is changing. It is being dissolved so that there can be this new thing, this new pathway for this next phase of your life. This is the onset of midlife passage, because there is a new dream that Creator has for you, that your Saturn structure and form can follow and build from this new dream. Okay, so that's Neptune initiation. The planetary force of Neptune. So this, what I'm describing, is the main one that everybody has. But at any point in your life, so before Neptune went to 20 degrees, Neptune was on my natal south node, was on my natal sun. Before that, I have a lot of planets in Pisces, so I have been in an ongoing, you might say, a 13-year Neptune initiation because of all of those planets and asteroids and the sun being all in Pisces. Neptune has been initiating me for a long, but this main initiation is special in the sense that it's meant to change your life into this next phase of midlife. So what I'm saying is that you can have a Neptune initiation at any time in your life. So what you want to do is look at your chart and find out, where is Neptune in the sky. Today it's at 21 degrees Pisces. You look at Pisces on your natal chart, see what you have around 21 degrees, and that's going to tell you what is being activated by Neptune. What part of your life is being dissolved? Look at the house also, because the house is going to tell you what area of life this is taking place. So for me, the Neptune initiation happened in the 11th house. 11th house of the future, goals, visions, who you are to the community, who you think you are to the community. So that process creates a dying of your old self and a place to be reborn as a new self with the medicine of Neptune, carrying that Neptune medicine of illusion. So what is the place of of illusion in our life? To create magic, to create mysticism, to know that the realness of unreality, the realness of undefined, subjective reality. Another teaching on Neptune is that it's the antidote to clarity. So it fuzzies everything. It makes everything fuzzy so that we have the opportunity to be in the mystical realms. And there's so many things that can happen when you are boundaryless, undefined, ambiguous. Now, ambiguity is an interesting thing because that is the realm of Neptune. Let's also talk about drugs, immune disorders, mental, like schizophrenia, fuzzy boundaries around who am I and who else is here. And these are all Neptune by nature. Hormones are a Neptune, I would co-respond to Neptune. So the pineal gland is a Neptune feature in the physical body, working with the hormones. Sleep and dreams, and the sleep in our dreams also has a cascade effect on other hormonal things happening in our physical body. Okay, so having an antidote to the clarity gives us time and space to be in the unknown, to be in uncertainty, and not need to grasp anything, not able to. It's like trying to grasp water. You can't pick up a handful of water. Is the Neptune initiation. So let me see if I had any other notes I wanted to. Neptune opportunities for total surrender into cosmic illusion. We get holistic results rather than direct results. Okay, so that just had to do with we are getting a lot done, holistic results rather than direct. Okay, so you're doing things in your subconscious reality, in your dream time, you're reading, you're not getting a lot done. Let me talk about that. I didn't work much during 2020 in my Neptune initiation. Things were closed down. Anyway, I did spend a lot of time in baths, a lot of times making love. I made so much love during 2020. It was amazing. Hours and hours spent in my bedroom with my partner. Spent a lot of time reading, a lot of time just not working. But there was a lot happening in my subjective reality. Okay, Neptune melts down and dissolves material. Neptune is elusive. Illusions, dissolution of illusions. See the divinity of the illusion. Don't look for the divinity in the person. Expand beyond the person, inclusive of the person. Okay, so this is just some notes I wrote about my own Neptune initiation. I think that covers it all. So I look forward to talking with you during the live class and seeing what else we can unveil about the Neptune cycle. So I look forward to connecting with you soon.